It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and we've got the latest chapter of a historic rivalry. It's the Raiders and the Chiefs under the lights on Sunday night.
It is a beautiful night for football here in the Midwest as we are at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. And hi again, everybody. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, when you and I were going through our final run-throughs at breakfast, we kept thinking tonight we're going to get to see a couple of very good passing offenses.
And we're talking about both sides having multiple receivers that can have an impact on this game. It's not just one guy that's going to make all the plays. If you take him away, maybe number 2, number 3, they make the big plays that impact who wins the game.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And as the Raiders take over on offense, we get to see the man who has been the leader of this team for 9 seasons now, under center Derek Carr.
In the midst of a tumultuous 2021 season, the Las Vegas Raiders really turned to their quarterback, Derek Carr, to not only drive their offense, leading to career-high totals from the 8th-year passer and a nearly 5,000-yard season throwing the football, but also his leadership ability. He really grabbed that team and led them to the playoffs for the second time in his career while coming out in one of the toughest divisions in football.
Carr right away, going to look to throw. Catch is made by Hunter Renfrow. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. A good safe pass there right off the bat.
That's almost a rhythm play. That's what we like to call it. Get them into rhythm early, something safe, something they're confident about, something they feel good. And once that's completed, then you just keep moving from there because the confidence elevates.
A first carry for Amir Abdullah. And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33. An early task, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. On play action, it's Carr. He gets this to Devontae Adams. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. Well, they only needed a small gain on 3rd down. They end up getting over 30 yards.
Brandon, we've both been around the game long enough that we know that in pregame, defenses are pretty amped up, aren't they? I mean, they're pounding lockers, and they can't wait to get out there. But when you hit them with some big pass plays early, it takes the starch right out of them.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Now again, left side. This is Abdullah. And able to get this to the 31.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
From the 31, Carr. This is a screen to Abdullah. And they're going to move it down to inside the 25.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
Carr now on first down. Over the middle, it's complete. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line. Well, they clearly wanted to come out, Charles, and be aggressive throwing the football, and they've been pretty efficient along with that aggressiveness. He's now 4 of 4 on this opening drive. Yeah, and that's led to a fresh set of downs. I like what he's doing back there. You can tell he's at ease, feels good about what he's doing. And I think if I'm the play caller, I'm reading that, and I'm continuing to let him throw the football. From the 13 now, they work on first and 10. Into the red zone, it's Carr. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and that'll make it second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
A Raider first down, Carter Renfro. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door, first and goal. Again, it's Carr. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sack back around the 8. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Well, if you're going to throw the ball on first and goal from the 2, the worst thing that should result is an incompletion for you offensively. But, Brandon, this is a different type of football. Back in my day, first and goal from the 2, a lot of big people with big neck rolls, they were on the field trying to ram it into the end zone.
It's second and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Now a toss to the left for Jacobs. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up third down. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, and now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on third and goal? Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
Partner, I came into this game eager to see how they would hold up in man coverage. And on that play, they held up quite well.
So Carr exits on fourth down, and on comes Daniel Carlson for the field goal try. Carlson able to put this one through, and the Raiders jump out to a 3-0 advantage. I think we can safely say they came out to be aggressive on the opening series, Charles. They didn't run the ball once. All that passing, it does get them the 3-0 lead.
I think what we saw there, partner, was the true definition of football balance, which means doing what you want to, when you want to on offense, and in this case, it was throwing the football. They may mix in running the football a little bit more as this game goes on, but this opening drive, while it stalled out, it still gave them 3 points.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Time to get our first look at one of the star faces of the NFL, Patrick Mahomes and his Kansas City offense. Really the gold standard among NFL offenses since he became the starter in 2018.
We're talking about Patrick Mahomes. What's a normal season for him is probably a career year for 99% of the other quarterbacks in the game today. 4,800 yards, 37 touchdowns, and a fourth straight trip to the AFC title game. He is making sure that all of us understand what he is doing is sometimes beyond spectacular, and his team follows accordingly. When he's under center, KC always has a shot.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. The drive will begin with a run by Edwards-Helaire. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
It's not a huge breakaway run, but if your starting running back finishes the game with averages of 5 or 6 yards per touch, you'll take that every single time.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Mahomes on the give to Edwards-Helaire. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
Not the kind of gain that we'll go absolutely crazy for, but it's the kind of gain that you need to have when you're running back in the NFL. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, with that low center of gravity and strength, he's going to get those tough, gritty yards for you when necessary.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Edwards-Helaire, they'll try to run for it. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. So opening drive, 3 straight runs, unable to pick up the first.
I know the fans want to see first downs, but guess what? The coaches have reasons for what they're doing. Sometimes they've scripted it, and some of these runs, while they haven't been successful now, they may be successful later on.
On 4th down, Tommy Townsend to punt for Kansas City. Hunter Renfrow deep to return for the Raiders. And this will be taken at the 13. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And it'll be Raiders football 1st and 10. Second drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. Meanwhile, Carr's throw complete here to Waller. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
But give them credit for a good read right there, because they read the man coverage on the right side and sent the tight end a few steps down the field and then angled him to the left on a crossing route. He was able to get enough separation on this play to turn it into a nice gain.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. Carr. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Carr again here on 2nd and 10. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Carr again. Oh, trying to get that to Adams, but that's intercepted. It's Joshua Williams with a pick. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. 3rd down, passing down. They throw the extra defensive back in there for a nickel package, and it worked out.
And it's not anything that you would think is just great strategy. It's just that when you have 5 defensive backs on the field and an obvious passing down, it's a lot tougher to complete a pass. And on that play, they completed it just to the wrong team, and it cost them 6 points.
Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. He's got it. They'll see that opening drive field goal and raise it a touchdown, and that makes it 7-3. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. Abdullah's going to stay put, and the drive will start at the 25. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession.
Let's go now, let's go. Let's go, baby.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. After the pick 6, they go right back to the air. Blitz coming, and down he goes. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
Well, the number one mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20.
I know the speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Now on 3rd down, an extra DB out there for the Chiefs. Now Carr. Looking deep for Adams. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15.
That is the exact right play call against that defense. So a hat tip to the offensive play caller because he won that part of the chess match. But give credit to his players as well. They won the execution part of it.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. Now Carr. He's going to go up top again. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I like the thought process there. They connected on a big play, and sometimes you find the defense vulnerable. So they went for the bigger shot, went for it all on that one. This time, they were ready for it.
2nd and 5.
From the gun, it's Carr. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
It's showtime, baby.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. To throw, it's Carr. And this one is incomplete.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw again. And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down.
There's that high motor that made George Karlaftis a day-1 draft pick. This continuous effort to get there for the sack.
And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center.
So after the sack, Carr in Las Vegas with a 3rd and long.
He'll drop to throw. A dump off for Abdullah.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
So on 4th down, here's A.J. Cole to punt for the Raiders.
Out of bounds and close. The question, was it a touchback? No. They'll say it crossed out at the 2-yard line. Excellent placement. And off that bounce, Charles, I didn't know where it was going to go. It can be an inexact science as to where they place it, but they say the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know how they really determined that. And let's face it, at the end of that play, one side's going to be happy, the other team's going to be unhappy. So, what do they do, shorten the hypotenuse? I mean, how do they figure that out? You know that stuff. You're the smart guy.
No, that's you, partner.
Here's Edwards-Helaire as they will start on the ground.
And some space here. And he takes this just about a yard shy of the 20.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up.
We'll step aside and get an update when we return to Arrowhead. So a much rosier picture now after that last play. Here's 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. From the gun, it's Mahomes. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
The 22 more yards there and another 1st down.
As we all know, Kansas City loves speed at the wide receiver position. And Marquez Valdez-Scantling, he's averaged over 17 yards per catch for his 4-year career, and he runs a 4.37 40. With Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback, expect that speed to translate into big shots downfield.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down.
A shotgun snap and a give to Edwards-Helaire. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42.
Well, partner, I don't think it's any secret that any running back wants to be able to see a hole open so that he can gallop through it. But in this case, he had to slow down. There was really no hole there, and he took a big hit in order to get that 1 yard.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Mahomes taps this forward. It's a jet sweep. And he's going to bull his way forward to the 48.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down. Play action. Now it's Mahomes. He's got his man. That's Hardman. And he will have a Chiefs first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 45-yard line.
They go back to the ground with Edwards-Helaire.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports.
The second quarter from KC. It's the Chiefs in possession of the football.
Now here's Mahomes as they've got it with a 2nd and 10. That helps the completion percentage, but not much else, and now it's 3rd and 10. So nothing there on the screen that time.
That means all that great acting they tried on offense went for naught, didn't it? Because you have to try and influence them. Make them think that you're doing something else. Make them think that they can get to the passer by letting them by and then setting up the screen and getting downfield. Didn't happen at all. Give a lot of credit to the defense for not...
Well, Mahomes can't get away, and down he goes.
Max Crosby blowing up the play and getting the sack.
Max Crosby is really starting to get his due around the league as one of the best young pass rushers in the game. 25 sacks in his first 3 seasons.
Here's Tommy Townsend on to punt.
And the fair catch is taken at about the 13-yard line here. Just 34 yards on the punt there, no return. And the Raider drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Now, despite a little sizzle on the move, he's still tackled shy of the 20. They'll get 4 there out of the screen, and it's 2nd down.
Nice job by the defense figuring that play out and holding it to a short game, but I don't think the offense is going to be daunted. They actually accomplished their goal there. Now they've got them aware that they can throw a screen at them. Maybe it'll slow the pass rush down a little bit, and they can throw it downfield.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Carr looking middle, and it's incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
The Raiders on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Here's Carr to throw. And that is incomplete.
Well, obviously searching for their first touchdown of this game, partner, and that quick 3 and out That's not going to achieve that at all. Give victory to the secondary there. They brought out tight coverage on that third down snap.
On fourth down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. Here's Hardman to return. All told, a 54-yard punt, 13 on the return.
And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. And now here comes Kansas City. They'll begin with much more advantageous starting field position than they did on their last drive as they come up here 1st and 10. They go play action. Now Mahomes. To the right side, it's Kelsey. And he is going to lose yardage here. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
To throw again on 2nd down. Mahomes. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete.
On 3rd down, here's Edwards-Helaire.
And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
On 1st down, Mahomes.
They'll set up the screen to Edwards-Helaire.
And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
Well, it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Mahomes. And down he goes. Brought down a Raider sack. Max Crosby. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
And we all know how talented this guy is who's calling the signals for him. But even the best in the game, they can struggle against a good, cohesive zone coverage. Can't find a gap in the secondary quick enough, and he ends up taking a sack.
After the sack, things get a little tougher here. 3rd and long for Mahomes and the Chiefs. Now back to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Here's Tommy Townsend now,
as he's on to punt for Kansas City. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 15. On play action, they'll throw.
They swing that out wide to Jacobs.
So the completion gets him just a yard, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Carr. The left side throw complete to Adams. And he'll wind up getting this to the 32. A play that started at the 16, and that's how many yards they get. 1st down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, a sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs.
The connection with his running back, Josh Jacobs.
It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that will bring up 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
They'll run right here with Jacobs. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
Now a play fake. Carr. And that will be incomplete.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far, offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
Here's A.J. Cole now to punt this one away. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Amazing. Perfectly placed. If that ball goes 1 extra yard, maybe not even an extra yard, the starting point is the 20.
So there is a reason that a lot of punters are also excellent golfers. They know distance control. You know what else they have? Same groove motion over and over. Once they have that down, it repeats under pressure.
They show run with 3 tight ends here on 1st down.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
But both teams practice this situation, and this time the guys on offense won, and in a very nice way. What a run from that position on their own goal line.
Gave him some good breathing room.
I wonder now, do you still stack the line of scrimmage, or do you play normal defense? They may have backed him off with that run.
And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10, right around the 9-yard line. And they got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
Well, that's all about doing the dirty work right there defensively. 2nd and short yardage, that's all about plugging those gaps, not giving a running back a crease to run through, and that's a nice job to hold him just a couple and force a 3rd down.
Here's Edwards-Helaire.
Calling no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Here's the Chiefs punter now, as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. No return, but it goes down as just a punt of 31 yards. And the Raiders will have a short field to work with as they take over.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
On play action, now Carr.
That's caught by Waller out left side. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to swing the tight end free downfield for the completion.
The Raiders on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. Trying to run for it with Jacobs.
And he gets it to the 34, good enough for the first. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. To throw his Carr. Quick hitter here, it's complete.
And he's going to get this down near the 25. Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down.
Play action, now it's Carr.
Throw right side, going to be caught by Waller.
And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It'll be a loss of 6 yards on the play. 3rd and 7 now.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
Good as a save.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Two minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score.
They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down. Carr.
Renfro bringing it in over the middle.
The Chiefs will use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside.
And I believe they've buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all reviews coming from the replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half. The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just trying to get the right sight line to the football. That's not always easy. We'll see what they decide here.
So that challenge, a successful one.
Now Carr again. And he'll find Moreau here. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. To throw, it's Carr. And that is incomplete. Wow, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Once you get into the red zone, space is at a premium for receivers to try and operate and shake themselves free. That one's incomplete.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Back to throw again. The quick slant caught. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
And a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? Ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
Carr to throw again. And this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. A pair of teammates at Fresno State connecting there. Derek Carr to Davante Adams. And the Raiders will take the lead here in the final minute of the 1st half. That could be an important swing right there. A touchdown in the final minute of the half to take the lead.
And I like the point you just made there. Could be an important swing because now that they have the lead, if they can carry that into the locker room at the half, they'll feel really good about what they accomplished in the first 2 quarters.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead is now 10-7. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And Davante Adams able to finish things with a touchdown reception. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Chiefs going to go back on offense here late in this 1st half. And with a little under a minute to go, they may try and work their way into field goal range and try to tie up this ball game.
Let's go, boy. Let's go, man. Hey, what we got? What you got? Let's go to work. Let's go, man.
Mahomes now on 1st down. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Looking to throw is Mahomes. That's caught left side by Hardman. Well, Mahomes finding his burner, Hardman for the KC first. The Chiefs will try and get to the line quickly. Throwing on 1st down is Mahomes. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Mahomes going to throw. To Valdez-Scantling over the middle. The Chiefs quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. On play action, it's Mahomes. He's got his man. That's Hardman. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. But forget the run on 3rd and 1. They shock the D and rip off a pretty big play. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to our brand new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports Halftime Report. First up, though, a look at the next-gen stats for the Raiders in that first half. And they've had all sorts of success thus far tonight throwing the football, as they're on pace to throw for 300-plus yards if things continue the way they've been going.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. It'll be the Chiefs football to begin quarter number 3, and they trail here as we are back underway now on EA Sports. And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback. And the Chiefs ready to go on offense to begin quarter number 3. Well, Charles, we saw a pretty entertaining first half, close ball game. Remember there toward the end of the second quarter, the opposition scored to take the lead. Now we'll see if these guys can get a score of their own to regain that lead.
Yeah, they want to have that type of a response, don't they? Because they want to find a way to take control of this ball game one more time. Gauntlet's been thrown down. They want to see if they're ready to answer it.
Mahomes now on first down. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now here's Mahomes. Open man, completes it to Smith-Schuster. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
First and 10, it's Edwards-Helaire with it. He'll take it past the 40 to the 41, second down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Second down, back to Edwards-Helaire. And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line. 57 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now. That one definitely helps as they try to push the ball down the field here, trailing early in the third quarter.
And even though they're trailing, not abandoning the running game. People may call it an adjustment. I think it's just much more sticking to what works for you and continuing to have faith in it. And the running game is starting to pay off.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory, right at the 40. Throwing now is Mahomes. Caught, Kelsey, left side. And give him 6 yards here as he's stopped near the 35 at the 34.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
On 2nd down, a run with Edwards-Helaire. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down now.
And they have just not been able to block him at all throughout this game. Seems like every other play, he's doing something in the backfield. Already got 2 sacks, and now here's a tackle behind the line.
Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. To throw, it's Mahomes. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 30. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's Mahomes to throw. They'll set up the screen to Edwards-Helaire. And he'll be brought down at the 27.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively. And the key to any screenplay is space to work. And there was none to be found there. And they tackle it for just a short gain.
From the 27, Mahomes over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. And he's got Hardman in the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. An 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Chiefs have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half.
An excellent, long, sustained offensive drive. And now they can look across the field and see a defense that looks a little bit beaten down. Right now, as an offensive coordinator, you're thinking to yourself, can I dial up the knockout punch?
Butker now to add the extra point. And that makes it 14-10. A 10-play drive that time. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. After the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. And, Charles, it feels like we're set up for a good second half here. Came out of the locker room, one-score game. Now the lead has already changed hands. Well, this offense, they've got an opportunity right now to take that lead right back.
Yeah, and it feels like you're going back and forth almost a little bit like a tennis match, right? And we're just, our heads just keep moving. Which side has it? Which side's going to score? How are they going to go out doing it? A little bit of a challenge for each side trying to match each other.
On first down, Carr. And the pass complete to Waller on the out route.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
Now Carr on the bootleg. Delivering another one here to Darren Waller. He's got it again. And they're going to get this up to midfield. Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-body tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. He hits Adams complete. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Again, they'll throw with Carr. That is incomplete. Darren Waller, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. Pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that'll send them back to the drawing board.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Quickly a slant to Renfro. And he'll be brought down with a 1st down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 19. That one goes for 13 yards and it moves the sticks.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good. They've moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively, but they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Rashad Fenton, the one to bring him down. Defense doing their job, really nowhere to run the football.
Yeah, it's almost textbook, wasn't it? Every place he tried to find an open spot, there just wasn't one. Congrats to the defense, no gain.
Called fitting your gaps, right?
I love it. You're exactly right.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Here's Carr. The open man here, Renfro. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10. Trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. Jacobs going to try the middle. And he gets the 1st down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. Give him the 3rd down conversion. 5 yards on the play.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
To throw his car. Caught on the slant. Touchdown, Raiders. Darren Waller with a touchdown grab from Derek Carr. And the Raiders have taken the lead here in this third quarter. So a very strong first drive in the second half, Charles, as they've turned that halftime deficit into a third quarter lead.
And they were pretty purposeful there, weren't they? Measured in their approach. But boy, they executed awfully well, moving the ball down the field.
Carlson on for the PAT. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it concludes with a touchdown reception by Darren Waller. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. And out come the Chiefs now. They had gotten the lead with the opening drive touchdown in the third quarter. Now they relinquished that lead back. Could be in for an interesting second half.
It certainly appears that way, doesn't it? Almost turning into one of those pendulum games, right? Where it swings back and forth, and who's going to make the play that changes that maybe it puts it on one side and keeps it there.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Edwards-Helaire on the counter, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. No gain that time, and it leaves them with 3rd and 11 coming up. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Mahomes now to throw. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down.
The key to any screenplay is all in the deception, and that means everyone on the offensive side of the ball. But someone gave it up because that one wasn't very well concealed. And the defense able to rally to him and hold him for just a short gain.
Here's the Chiefs punter now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. It's just a 32-yard punt with no return. And it'll be Raiders football 1st and 10. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. The offense running out, and they are charged up ready to go after reaching the end zone on their last drive.
And normally I'd warn against getting complacent just because they scored the last time out. But I don't think there's any worries with this group right now. This is a hungry group, and they want to keep building off of their last drive. Now they just want the officials to hurry up and place the ball so they can snap it and get back to work.
On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. And a loose football, and it's picked up by the Chiefs. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
So turnovers, Charles, you figure will be key in the second half, and that's a big giveaway there.
Yeah, and as you and I both know, coaches are always preaching ball security, and none more often than right here in the second half of a tight football game. Now you've got to believe what the coaches are saying and take care of that football.
KC's offense ready to take over. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one goes for 24 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Now Mahomes.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it's 2nd down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
2nd and 3 from the 9. Off the option, it's Edwards-Helaire.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
Mahomes.
And this is caught for a touchdown. Now hold everything here. Flag in the backfield. This one might be coming back. So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? Looking to throw is Mahomes. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
So on 4th down, Mahomes off, Harrison Butker on for the Chiefs field goal.
From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt.
Butker's kick here is good, and that will tie things at 17-all. So they wind up turning the turnover into points as they convert there for 3.
Yeah, that was a nice job there to force the fumble. They recover, hand things over to their offense, and then the offense went down and got them 3. That alone, that's not enough to win a game, but both units able to do their jobs on these last 2 drives.
(17-17) the score. All even to this point as the kick's away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession.
And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive, a little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
One quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. We're back now in KC. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. Carr now on 1st down. He finds his man, complete. It's Jacobs. Finding room at midfield. Loose inside the 30. Inside the 10. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Well, forget about the weapons out wide. He knows he's got another weapon in the backfield in the passing game, Charles, and he utilized him perfectly on that play.
And the offense coordinator showed me something on that play, Brandon, because so often during a game, our cameras find them looking down at their play sheets, and you wonder if they're absorbing anything. He had something specific in mind, and he went to it, and it worked well.
Carlson now to add the extra point. And they will take a 7-point lead now. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This one taken just inside the 10. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. And Kansas City's offense now set and ready to go. They now trail by 7 after that last touchdown here in the 4th quarter. What a big spot for this offense. See if they can cobble something together on this drive. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he'll look underneath here for Edwards-Helaire. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
To throw again on 2nd down. Mahomes. It's Kelsey on the grab.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
The Chiefs on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Catch is made by Hardman. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 45-yard line.
Now a carry for Edwards-Helaire. And good work there in open space. And he's got this all the way down now to the 32.
A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Mahomes going to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And that is caught for the touchdown, Kansas City.
Juju Smith-Schuster on the touchdown pass from Patrick Mahomes. And the Chiefs are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th. We are set up for a fantastic finish now. A 4th-quarter touchdown here. We're an extra point away from a tie football game.
And I know they're thinking about possibly going for 2, but I'd go ahead and kick this one and just get it back to level.
Butker on for the PAT. And no sweat. He puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th. A drive that time of 6 plays.
And it's capped off by the touchdown from Juju Smith-Schuster.
Nothing separating these two sides. 24 all our score as he sends this one away.
And Abdullah will not try to bring it out. Las Vegas' offense back out there ready to go. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this 4th quarter to try to grab that lead back.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's going to loft this one deep left sideline. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
After what they faced during this game where they've given up a ton of yards downfield, there has to be a measure of revenge right there for the secondary. They've been shredded throughout the game and finally forced an incompletion.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings them up 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw here. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
They approach this drive with a lot of confidence after the last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. To throw, it's Carr. And that will be incomplete as well.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
Here's A.J. Cole now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. 35 yards that time on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Kansas City starting a drive, hoping to utilize the speed of that man, McCole Hardman.
He's been a load for them to handle defensively, I know that much.
Well, look at him. He's got 7 catches on the game, and he's starting to shred them a little bit because not only is he catching them, he's picking up good yardage, keeping the chains moving, ball control, you name it. This big guy, what did you say? He's been a load for them to handle?
That's right.
Agreed.
This has 7 catches, as you said, over 100 yards.
The drive will begin with a run by Edwards-Helaire. He'll get this up to about the 44.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Throwing now is Mahomes. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And fortunately, he's able to get this one back, so it is a first down.
Let's go, y'all. Let's go, baby. Let's get fun.
Mahomes now on first down.
Oh, he brings it in off the deflection. He's got room at the 30.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
Well, sure looked pretty coming off of his hand, but sometimes you might have to take a little bit off of it. That one looked a little too hot to handle.
Yeah, but off the tip, hey, they still got the catch, right?
It's amazing, isn't it? Even when it goes wrong, it turns out right.
On first down, Mahomes.
They'll set up the screen to Edwards-Helaire.
And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me, good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Now it's Mahomes again.
He's going to find his tight end Gray complete, and he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
The offense on third down tonight, they've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
They'll go with a touch pass here, trying to pick it up.
And he is going to lose yardage here. So a big one coming now for Harrison Butker. This to break our 4th quarter tie. Butker's kick here is good, and they have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away.
Abdullah's going to stay put, and the drive will start at the 25. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this fourth quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. He'll give it to Jacobs to start the drive. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Nice satisfying run on first down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. They'll run again. This time it's a duel. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Well, they've certainly been successful throwing it around in this game, and that's allowed them to move the ball on offense. But I've got to tell you, to watch them run the football and successfully, I'm not taking sides. But to see the ball in a running back's hands, oh, that's football for me.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Carr. And Waller taking it in over the middle.
And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 44-yard line. Now Carr. And his pass incomplete.
So he looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Now a give to Jacobs running right. Oh, look at the juke. And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
A potential field goal, if you're thinking about that, almost 55 yards from here as they try to get closer on 3rd down. Carr going to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Adams. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 23. With that catch, he goes over 100 yards receiving on the night.
All right, let's just go ahead and walk through this one pretty easily, right? Blast off the line of scrimmage, get downfield to a certain point, usually around 8 to 10 yards, turn around and make sure the quarterback sees your numbers and set yourself up for the pass.
A well-executed curl route by Charles Davis. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
Well, plays like that, Charles, no doubt, they're just going to continue to fuel this crowd.
And this defense is already playing well, but it also feeds on the energy of that crowd that you're talking about, and that takes them up to another level. Right now, they're playing really loose. They've got the lead, and what a nice stop they just made there behind the line of scrimmage.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Carr.
And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage, especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it could be tipped up and picked off.
9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Carr now to throw. Touchdown! Make it 4 touchdown passes now for Derek Carr. And the Raiders have moved out in front here in the fourth quarter. This has definitely been a back-and-forth affair, and now they have the lead here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and they gave up the field goal on that last drive, as we remember, but it felt like their offense told them, don't worry about it. We've got your backs. We'll come back with a touchdown of our own, and they did.
Carlson on for the PAT. And that will make this a 4-point game. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told.
And Devontae Adams able to finish things with a touchdown reception.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson.
From the 6. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. And the Chiefs offense ready to go again. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the fourth quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one.
Let's go, baby. Turn it up.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Flush to his right. Taking a deep shot here for Hardman.
And this is incomplete. Oh, he looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
Understanding he's just down 1 possession, trying to make something happen by extending the play, but the coverage downfield was excellent. He escaped and bought some time, but that one goes incomplete.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Mahomes, throw left side, complete to Smith-Schuster. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Mahomes finding Juju there for the Kansas City first.
Barney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep and threw it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go. And let's see who's faster.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Now a toss left side for Edwards-Helaire.
And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
Mahomes on the give to Edwards-Helaire.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides. Now here's Mahomes. He's got his man, Valdez-Scantling.
And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a non-stop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Mahomes gets this into the hands of Gray, the tight end. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
An incompletion, now a short pickup. That's not going to do it.
Yeah, you got to get to the line of scrimmage quickly, get set up, and aim downfield.
They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down.
Mahomes to throw it. Looking for Gray and finding him once again.
And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 32-yard line. And they'll get 14 yards out of it and a fresh set of downs.
Brandon, it's okay what they're doing right now. Still able to work the middle of the field, but you know sooner or later they're going to have to stop the clock.
Mahomes.
And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32.
Mahomes will throw.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
Max Crosby
in there to drop him as that clock continues to run.
They've gobbled up over 30 yards of turf so far, but a sack knocks them backwards, and that interrupts the momentum they were building. Good opportunity for the defense to escape this drive before they get to the end zone.
He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
With that incompletion, reality is staring them right in the face. This entire game is down to the next snap.
It's showtime, baby. Let's rock and roll, baby. What we got?
Now Mahomes got to have this one. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Raider D, they get the football back. So the defense asked to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 38. They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. And some room to maneuver.
And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46.
Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. Now a second timeout called for by the defense, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. The Raiders likely going to get out of this with a victory as they take a knee. The Chiefs quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
Carr down to a knee, and that ought to just about do it.
Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.